So, very interesting things you got going on. Do you have any plans for the future for Anthrocon or your personal life?
Well, Anthrocon continues to grow at a nearly linear rate every year. It's got its own momentum. I don't really need to plan too much. It just keeps going. All I have to do is keep providing the people what they want. My ultimate plan is to get somebody else to run it. The problem I have, it's a difficult balance. I need to find somebody who is smart enough and capable enough to do the job right, but dumb enough to take the job.
Right.
I found a lot of people in one of the two categories. There's that Venn diagram has a very narrow intersection there, and I still have to find.
Kind of just brushes, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm working on it though. I got one candidate in mind already, but.
Very cool.
So that, again, the nice thing is Anthrocon does not need me. I got it rolling. I started the avalanche. It's not going to stop now. It's just going to keep going. And it pleases me that there are so many other furry conventions out there. Some of them follow Anthrocon's model. Others have come up with their own models, and that's great. These are incredible people. They are imaginative, they are inventive, they are some of the most delightful dreamers that humanity has ever created. And just the idea that we are giving them an outlet, a voice, a face, a place where they can get together and share those dreams, that's what's in it for me. So as long as we can keep doing that, I'm happy.
Wonderful. Do you have a website or books, anything you'd like to promote?
Wow, I got a website that I haven't updated since 2003, something like that. I probably should update it someday. It's UncleKage.com. Hell, I even still have hair in that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I might look into it. I do write short stories.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're trash, but some folk apparently think they're worth publishing. Mercedes Lackey is a science fiction author. She and her husband. Yeah, they're old friends of mine, actually.
Really?
And,
Very cool.
Well, Misty called me one day and said, I'm putting together an anthology of stories of birds of prey. I want you to write me a story. And I said, God, I can't do that. And she said, sure you can. I know that you know birds, and I know that you can write. So make me a story. I said, well, okay, when's the deadline? She said, end of the month. Ah! So I threw this thing together and showed it to a friend, and it was up late and editing, and what word goes there? Mark Twain said the difference between the right word and the wrong word is the difference between the lightning bug and the lightning. And I had a lot of lightning bugs in my story, and I'm sitting there trying to make lightning out of them. And I finally had it in a shape that I thought worked. And I sent it to a friend, and he sent it back and he said, it's great, but the ending sucks, change it. So I had to change that. I got it to Misty at like 5 p.m. on the last day of the month. And then, got it. And then about 6 months went by, I didn't hear anything. And I called her up and I said, so how's that anthology going? And she said, oh, nobody else has gotten theirs in yet.
Don't you hate that?
So I learned a little thing about professional writers at that point. Since then, she's put some of my stories in additional anthologies. The Elemental Masters series, she's put 2 books out that both have my stories in them. So basically, if you look at Mercedes Lackey's work and the anthology she writes, flip through, you might see my name in there.
So keep going, right?
Keep going, yeah.
Yeah.
The first is Elementary, and I think the second is it's the new anthologies of the Elemental Masters. The original story, which goes back many years, was in an anthology called Flights of Fantasy, and it's rather nice because the picture on the front is of a red-tailed hawk with human eyes, which is interesting because that was the topic of my story, and I thought, I wonder if that's related.
Very cool. So I have to wholeheartedly agree with you. The main thing that I've found in the community of furries is the creativity, and you are by no means an exception. You are one of the Well, you epitomize creativity.
Thank you so much.
Which leads me to a question I sometimes like to ask creative people. What inspires you to create? Besides deadlines at the end of the month.
That's a big inspiration. But what inspires me to create? I often hear that asked of others, and you could ask these people here. I don't think any of them would say there's a specific inspiration. I don't think anybody opens a book and says, "Oh my goodness, I'm going to create now." I think, particularly in furries, it's natural. It's an instinct. It is a psychological imperative. It's what we do. We are dreamers, and we must dream. So that creativity just happens, even when we're not thinking about it.
So there's nothing that you do to inspire your creativity?
Anything could come by. Somebody wearing a particularly interesting set of ears, artwork can inspire me. The antics of an animal, an anecdote somebody tells me. Literally anything that I take in could spark something up in that gray pudding up here, and eventually it just kind of pours out some kind of product. Whether it's written, whether it's a story I tell on stage, or just some tidbit of a dream that I file away for later. It's always being made.
Do you ever have trouble, the reverse problem, kind of a creative diarrhea where you just can't stop it?
Constantly. Again, it's, as I said, that psychological imperative cannot be denied. Now, the one thing that will kill creativity is to tell somebody they must do it.
Right.
Which is, I see people who are graphic artists who get very, very grumpy. I can't get it. Or I'm facing a deadline. What am I supposed to do? It's when you try to force it that it's elusive. It's such a fleeting thing. And I think that if I could find a way, like Dr. Jekyll, if I could find some elixir you can take that would allow you to grab that creativity when you need to, I'd be a very rich man.
Yeah, if you could bottle it, that would be wonderful.
But I'd have to test it on myself, and then I'd turn into a hulking, hairy thing that tears people's limbs off. That probably wouldn't be very good.
Oh, yeah, that probably wouldn't be Nah, yes.
Yeah, it looks bad on a resume.
Yeah. I forgot the fact you're a chemist.
Yeah.
You could probably come up with something like that.
Yeah, very easily. In fact.
The David Banner of furries. Or is it David Banner? Yeah.
He was a physicist, but we'll forgive him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh,
And
thank you.
do you have a Facebook page? Page for Anthrocon?
Maybe I'm a Luddite. I hate Facebook. I don't trust them. But
I don't trust them either.
No. Anthrocon has its website. It's www.anthrocon.org. We are a nonprofit, so it's .org. And that has just had its facelift for next year. We are very shortly going to be taking memberships, I hope.
When will Anthrocon occur next year?
It will occur next year, the 9th through the 12th of July of 2015.
Very cool. And before I conclude, do you have anything you need to put in a plug for Furryality? Any comments about Furryality?
This is my first time here. In fact, it's their first year really as an honest to goodness convention. They are incredibly well run. The folks who put it together, as I have seen, are all people with extensive resumes in running other kinds of cons. So they've got the perfect storm of talent has come together. It is magnificently put together, extremely well organized. The staff is very dedicated. I see this convention going quite a lot of places, mostly up.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of conventions. I've been covering for Gen Con for several years. The quality of some of the events here, parallel Gen Con with the whole con is a game, and that's why I have to compare it to Gen Con, which is like the ultimate gaming convention.
Exactly.
And the storyline. What have you done so far to help humanity survive against the machine?
What have I done? I've been giving out these lovely little things here in my business of drawing, positively awful drawings of no artistic merit whatsoever, just $10 a piece. 100% dissatisfaction guaranteed. I'm making a lot of money. These people got more money than sense, but I like it that way.
Excellent. Very awesome. Well, thank you, Uncle Kage, so much. And from Cincinnati, Ohio, and for Reality, this has been The Weird Review.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Toodles.
Weird.